What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to show you something I've been doing my whole life, but I've always been kind of, I guess, embarrassed to show anybody else. Sort of like how we're embarrassed to admit that we flex in the bathroom mirror, and do all that, right? Okay. This is something I've been doing since I was a teenager, or maybe even younger. And today I'm just going to show it to you because I think the principle behind what I'm doing here is helpful. Number one, I am a martial artist, and whether you think so or not, so are you. The reason why you're a martial artist is if you are a human being and there is anybody in your life that you care enough about that you would fight to defend them, and hopefully that also includes yourself, then you are a martial artist. You don't have to train in fighting to be a martial artist, just like you don't have to have played any sports to be an athlete, because you also are an athlete as well. Okay, so going back to the martial arts, yes, I understand the basics of, in this case, boxing. Cover up, chin down, elbows in, footwork, don't blink when you hit. Today I'm going to do the complete opposite of that. I call it my FFHF boxing workout. It stands for fuck form and have fun, because everything you're not supposed to do in a fight or in boxing, I'm going to do right now, and I've been doing this for years. And I'm not going to debate whether it's what I'm going to do here is bad because you're going to form bad habits. At my age or at any age, you shouldn't be fighting anyway. If you can run, run. I'm not fighting with anybody. That's why I train harder to run than I do this. But the reason why I do this is because there's nothing like striking, both throwing punches and throwing legs or kicks, that connects the legs and the upper body to each other through the rotational core than striking does. And also, a lot of core, rotational core, lateral flexion, all that stuff, crunches, sit-ups, leg raises, those are all great core exercises, but the one thing they all have in common is they're done at a very slow, meticulous speed. And oftentimes, when we actually need our core in real life, it is either to generate very powerful movements or to absorb very powerful movements, or sometimes both at the same time. So I like to practice on heavy bags and things like that, and not worry about form, not worry about my chin being up or any of this stuff, and just producing movements that allow me to utilize my core and exaggerate rotational and multiplanar core function in a simulation of combat without having to worry about the confines of good form. Because good fighting form is largely to help you not get knocked out while you're trying to do the same to the other guy. But oftentimes that limits me in my ability to use my core the way I would really like to. So I'm going to be throwing a bunch of movie punches today, and they're not very good. I will never qualify myself as a martial arts instructor. I've never, ever been that good, okay? So everything's going to be very exaggerated, looping. My breathing's going to be off. I might blink, blink, blink. Chin up, all that. I'm just going to let it hang out because I'm having fun. And also give me a break because, like I said, this is kind of, it's going to be embarrassing, but I feel it's worth embarrassing myself a little bit and showing you how I suck at this a little bit. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm cold, I haven't warmed up, and I'm just going to shut up and go. All right, here we go. So I want to thank Hayabusa Combat for sending me these beautiful gloves. Because the ones I got from Ross, those are pretty much done. And these gloves allow me the training volume to do a lot of this without busting up my knuckles and all the other. I've also messed up my left wrist from years and years of bare knuckle striking, and some of my other joints are messed up, so it's nice to have this. So right now what I'm doing, I'm not trying to punch real hard, I'm trying to punch real aligned. I'm trying to align the bones of my metacarpals through my forearm, and through the gloves, I am trying to push my knuckles through these gloves into the bag. So I'm looking for the alignment of my forearms and my knuckles if I happen to remember to bring my hands back to my face and it doesn't impair or get in the way of me getting a big rotation, then I'll do that. But in most cases, I'm just gonna let this shit hang out and just do my thing. Another thing I like to do, this is what my kicks look like when I'm cold. So please, don't attack me in the street. This is a roundhouse, okay? My hip is a little bit janky here. I gotta get that linkage going here. So when I'm throwing these, I'm not concerned about my leg at all. What I'm concerned about is I'm gonna throw my left kick. I put my mind in my left hip bone right here, and I'm moving that hip bone. I'm using that hip bone to bring my femur or my thigh up. And then from here, if I can, I'm gonna take this hip bone, I'm gonna turn it over. So I will externally rotate here, internally rotate here, and hopefully we get a kick, all right? And yeah, and I couldn't, you know, my knee, I gotta give my knee a little time to warm up. So here, once again, I'm not thinking of throwing my leg at the bag. And by the way, once again, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, okay? If you already have I'm sure a lot of you guys can kick my ass, for sure. But this is just how this is a technique I use that allows me to use my core. So I'm using kicks and punches the way we use weights and kettlebells to build muscles. I'm using kicks and punches as implements to train and reinforce the connectivity of my core. Because if you think, especially in the hook punches, especially the big looping telegraphed hook punches, all of this weight, if we're in tight, bam, yeah, we can fire that tight, hard, and that's for real, that's a good thing, or better yet, an elbow. But if you want to use punches to train the core, your arms weigh the same whether they're here or they're out here. So the only thing you can manipulate is the leverage. So if I throw a big looping punch, that's a much longer distance, my rotational core, that's a bigger opportunity for my rotational core to pull these punches in. So yeah, these are very telegraphed. I'd get knocked out if I threw this. Now, if you're real good, there are guys that, like Roy Jones, and they can throw this kind of stuff, but I'm definitely not a Roy Jones at all. But if you look at the power that guys like him get on these Prince Ahmed, yeah, guys like that can just kind of like dance around and it just looks like a goof. But there's a ton. If you can get away with throwing big looping punches like that, if you land that, all of that torque that you're seeing at play here, and what's considered a really bad form punch or a dangerous punch, if that does somehow land, and there you go, you get paid. So also to the body, because A lot of rotational core or core exercises are done not even standing. And I tend to not practice any core exercise that I'm not either on my feet or hanging from a bar. I will never lie on my back. I'm not a big fan of planking. If you are, I'm not telling you what to do, but that's just, my thing is, in order for me to generate those, I have to grab the earth with my legs. And because if I'm not rooted into the ground and then turning my hips are the locus of my core rotation in the upper body, okay? So I'm not trying to, I know, yeah, pull the shoulder back to throw this out, that's great, but it has to come from hip bone. So this hip bone, boom. This is the analogy I like to, or this is what I like to think of when I'm throwing, especially punches or kicks. If you take a plastic spoon, you hold the top of the spoon and you twist the handle and then you let go of the top, the way it goes, doink. Well, here's the spoon right here, this is the spoon part, and down here's the handle, this hip bone. If you wind it this way and let it drag the rib cage into, so here, that's where your power comes from. The same principle. I don't have very strong arms, okay? I don't have enough, you know, like, if I just, right? So, but if I, and I know my footwork is, I'm flat-footed, I'm having fun today. I don't really have a lot of footwork, you know? I'm just, you should see me dance at a wedding. It's just horrible. My wife will never do that with me, even now. But, even at our own wedding. But, here's another thing. These slow core rotations you see me and other people doing with cable machines, those are great for connecting all the dots, making sure that all the linkage here and everywhere in between is in place. That's great, no problem. But like I said, in real life, core activation and core stability in all planes usually occurs at very high velocities. And sometimes when we're not even expecting those forces to, either we're not expecting to have to absorb them nor generate them. So, and when I'm doing this, part of having fun is I'm not doing rounds, there's no timers, I have no idea how long I've been talking to you. I just do a few. This for me is a fast twitch, and it's a fast twitch activity for my upper body. And the reason why I go slow in all my exercises, I am much more slow twitch in my body than I am fast twitch. That's why all these movements, you see me, all this stuff, it's kind of the nature of me. So I don't have that many fast twitch components, so I just fire them a little bit and then I let them recover frequently. And once again, today I'm not using this as a condition. There's some days, yeah, we're trying, you know, all that. No, today we're just having fun, okay? So I'm just, and these are very powerful, not only to generate the energy to get that punch out, but once I strike, that shock wave, some goes in, some recoils back into me, and my core has to lock down and absorb that. So that's why striking, it's a very dynamic interplay with your resistance. Because if you think of this heavy bag, this is a water-filled heavy bag with a rubber mat wrapped around it, so it feels like meat. Okay, this is not a fluffy bag. It feels like punching a seal. Not a Navy SEAL like the animal. Probably the same. Anyway, so when I'm hitting this thing, It's the same as weightlifting, except all the lifting or the transfer of energy just occurs in a short range of motion, but it's still generated over, like if this was a bench press or a one-arm bench press, it's just like generating energy, but just encountering the resistance at the very end. So striking is weightlifting. So again, I know, blinking, elbows, bleh, bleh, bleh. But that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was really enjoyable. And I felt not that concerned with what's happening here. I'm concerned with what's happening here and how this is connecting this to this. That is, I guess, let's put it a different way. If you're afraid to work out on a heavy bag because you think you should know how to box, let's say you have zero experience punching a heavy bag. Put on some nice gloves, and you just big telegraph hook punches, okay? So you have zero experience, never hit anything in your life, but you still want to get the benefits of what striking can give you, not just for your core, but your entire body awareness and capability. Put on the good gloves. Here. Telegraph them. Because chances are, if you've never thrown a punch in your life, and this is the first time, you definitely don't want to get in a fight anyway, right? Even if you've been punching your whole life, there's always 1,000 million guys that can kick your ass anyway, so just be cool. That goes without saying. But if we're using punches, just punches today, to just connect the entire body to itself, I like to throw the doubles, by the way, because the doubles verify my anchoring or how well I'm grounded to the floor. You know, it's easy to kind of just be all haywire, alternating punches and just any kind of base or stance, right? But if we're those multiple shots from the same side, not only are they sneaky if you actually ever have to use them, but they really help to teach you how you should relate to whatever you're standing on, the floor. Okay, so, and feel it, have fun with it. This is fun. Okay, so like I'm just like this. I'm not going to take a proper stance. Say I'm just like cruising, but now I have to generate a punch. What would I have to do to generate the hardest punch from here? And I don't care about telegraphing it. Probably going to do this, which right here on the core. Okay, from here, telegraphing. Okay, but I got to use my core from here, telegraphing. Here it comes. Okay? Huh? Once again. There's, you can see, I have no words, okay? Once again, it's not about how hard you hit. If you're new to this, please don't do that. You might hurt yourself. I might hurt myself. But it's just this. You want to feel, in this case, once again, remember this twisted spoon? Twist the handle here. Let the spoon go. Okay, right here. Huh? Watch the hip. Telegraphing, big time. Hip. 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 Okay? Yeah, I know I should be covering up on the other side, but once again, we're having fun. This is not fun. This is too much thinking. Now I'm getting uptight thinking someone's trying to beat my ass. In which case I'd run, like I said before. So, anyway, I hope you guys get the idea of this. And you know, I keep them short. I'm actually getting a little tired, and I got to get home to the family. So, anyway, I hope this is in some way helpful. If you have access to something like this, or if you just want to practice this, one more point, do this on the air. Feel. So when you rotate those hips, take a wide, ugly stance, chin up, everything wrong. Because to me, let me put it like this, just occurred to me. The worse your form is, according to boxing and fighting standards, the better the involvement of your core, okay? If I could go so far as saying that, if you, so I'm rooted, got my weight on my left leg. Most of my, see, I got, that heel is up. My weight is all here. Now I have a rotational hemisphere through my left side. Once I'm here, I can now generate, okay? So from here, I can hip bone. So, okay, once again. This side. Okay, and sometimes we can switch. Put all the weight on this side, see what happens. You get to use your core differently. So I'm going to throw a big looping right, put it on my weight on my left. I get to use my core in a different way this way than when I have all my weight stacked under it. Okay? Yeah, there might be a difference in power, but in life, once again, don't want to encourage anyone to fight, but you know, throwing a ball or doing whatever, getting out of the way of something, our weight shift is going to be it shows up all day, every day, in everything, and in some cases it could help you save yours or somebody else's life. So, you don't. One of the most flat-footed athletes there is, and so it's another reason why I have to do the things that I do in order to counter that, okay? Because I like to just stand here and do all my weights and kettlebells all in one place. All right, if you're still here, I greatly appreciate you. Much love and aloha.